Hi everybody, it's Tree Sprites craft time, and today we're going to make some felted eggs because we love eggs on our farm. Our chickens lay eggs, our pigeons lay eggs, our quails lay eggs, and we have an abundance of eggs, and our favorite thing to do is collect those eggs. So today we are going to make our own felted eggs. I have two samples here, both different colors, you can see. And the magic of these eggs is that they hatch. So the secret inside is a plastic egg. So we're going to be using this plastic egg to make our felted egg. The first step that we're going to do is take some roving. Now you can use any colors that you choose. You see these colors are very different. And to select some roving, you'll just need little bits of it. And remember to hold the roving tail in one hand and use a clasp to break off just little wisps of the roving. So use a variety of colors. You can mix things up and again, select whatever you think you would like for your egg. You're going to need enough to wrap the entire egg with a nice fluffy soft blanket. So again, just little wisps. And if you have some roving that's kind of clumped into a ball, you want to fluff it up, make it into a nice soft cozy blanket. Okay, I have a few different colors here. And now I want to blend these colors. So I'm just taking them in my hands and pulling them apart and blending the colors a little bit. You want to make sure you don't have any clumps of roving. Spread it out nice and thin. The fibers have little barbs on them and they will attach to each other if they're spread out and if it makes a nice soft fuzzy blanket. So the way you can determine if you have enough is take your plastic egg and place it down on top of your blanket and fold the sides in. And you'll want to give it a little squeeze gently. You don't want to squeeze too much. But if you can still feel the plastic egg, like here you see I have some holes in my roving. I can still see the plastic there. So that tells me that I don't have enough roving. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more. And blend those colors together. And then I will lay that down on top of my egg. Now you can't really have too much roving, you can have too little. So the more roving you have, just the thicker your egg will be. So if you're afraid that you don't have enough to cover your egg completely, I would add a little bit more. The next step is we're going to use our nylon. Now this is just the foot part of a nylon that I've cut off. I'm going to stick my hand inside and grab the Easter egg. Try to keep all of that roving on, and then I'm going to fold it over the egg. This is the trickiest part, to keep that roving on, so this would be a job for a parent to help with. And then I'm going to tie the end into a knot, pull it nice and tight, tie it into a knot. And I'm going to get my dish soap. Now you can use, really I found that most soap works. I'm using Dr. Bronner's baby soap, but you can use dish soap or anything of that sort. And I'm just squirting, a few squirts in there. And in my bucket is hot, warm water. And I'm just going to go dribble, dribble, drop all over the egg. Dribble, dribble, drop. You don't want to dump it in the water like I did on accident. You really just want to drizzle water all over it, and then you're gently going to squeeze, and you don't want to squeeze too hard. You just want all of those fluffy fibers to stick to each other, but you don't want to rub them off. So I'm just gently squeezing and turning and squeezing and turning. Now, problems we've had in the past, our eggs kind of broke because they're plastic and they come apart, but we've taped the egg closed, so hopefully it won't split during this process. So once your fibers feel all saturated with water, you'll want to just kind of rub your egg back and forth. You can rub it like this, rub it like this in between your hands, but you want to make sure to get the ends. Rub, rub, rub. You make sure to get that knot. That's a little bit tricky. Get the fibers where the knot is. I'm adding a little bit more water. And you'll start to see the soap coming through. If you don't see soap at this stage, you'll want to add more because the soap will help the fibers to bind together. Adding a little bit more, rubbing. And you can add more soap if you think you need more. The kids love lots of soap. But you'll want to keep rubbing and rubbing. Now the kids can do this process for a good 10-15 minutes as long as they would like. You can't really overdo this process at all. You can take a break and come back to it later, but you would want to warm it up. It's important to use warm water and not cold water during this stage. Now I'm just going to open this up and show you where we're at. Generally, you would continue doing this without taking a peek. But for the sake of time on the video, I'm opening this up. And it's a good thing I did because there's a little bit of a hole right there. The rest of the egg is covered with roving, but here it was too thin. So to fix that problem, I'm just going to add a little bit more. You'd want to dry your hands. Add a little bit more roving. And you can patch up that hole, no problem. Just little fluffs. And now that it's wet, that will bind together nicely with the other fibers. And this is a good time too, just to look at your colors and see if you want to add a little bit of extra purple or pink or whatever color you're using. I'm going to add another little touch of purple here on this side. And I'm just spreading it out. And at this point, since most of the fibers are already binded together, I don't have to put it back in the stocking as long as it's not starting to come off. You'll need to have gentle hands for this. Remember not to squeeze too hard. But I'm just rubbing it on there and getting it all to come together. Now, part of the magic of these eggs that I learned and why the nylons come in handy is not only to hold that roving together, but I'm going to put this back into my nylon bag, and I'm going to tie the end again, and then I'm going to stick this, after I rinse the soap off, I'm going to stick this in the dryer. And the dryer does a lot of the felting process for me. So I'm just going to drizzle the soap off, squeeze gently, and then I am going to stick it right in the dryer with a load of towels or something soft for just a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Let it agitate there, and you'll see that the fibers and the heat of the dryer, they'll really bind together nicely. You can take it out and take it out of your nylon, and you'll have a beautiful felted egg. And then you can decide if you want to leave it together or if you want to open it up and have a little pouch for treasures, or possibly a little wooden chick or little bunny rabbit, or something that you would like to have a special little home for. So thank you very much.